Gervonta Davis picks Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford winner. Is he capping or is it full facts? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the big homie, Gervonta Tank Davis, has picked his winner for the Errol Spence versus Terence Buzz Crawford fight. I just wanted to give my due cents on what the homie had to say and break it down for whoever's listening.
I like to go fishing. Everybody know those are my hobbies.
Man, that's cat. He's not catching me with no fishing pole,
hey, listen.
man. I'm the biggest. You can't catch me with no fishing pole. What it look like catching Moby Dick with a fishing pole, man? Get out of here, bro.
Alright, so Gervonta Tank Davis. Unfortunately for him, I heard a few weeks back that he had to go back to jail. I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. I'm just trying to wait for his little bid to be over with. Then we can get back to the Gervonta talk. You know, I don't want to speculate on anything he has going on in his personal life. But when it comes to his pick that he put out through whoever, wherever he's at, you know, shouts out to him. Hope your head's up high, holding it down, you feel me? Wherever he's at, he put out a message basically predicting his winner of the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight. And I'm going to give my breakdown. So, what did he have to say? Well, to be basic and honest and quick-witted, he basically said, no matter how much you run, when you get hit, it's going to slow you down. What did he mean by that? Well, basically, everybody, a lot of people, not everybody, you know, I think the majority of people are still riding with Earl, but a lot of people, a lot of bettors are going with Terence Crawford. And why are they going with Terence Crawford? Well, I've mentioned this before. I think a lot of people are basing it off of Errol Spence's movement. He's very mummy-footed. He's very dead-footed. So I think a lot of people feel like the quickness, the boxing ability, the ring IQ of Terence Bud Crawford is going to outlast the power, the ability to stay on game plan, and that killer jab that Errol Spence brings to the table. And, you know, when it comes to what Gervonta Davis had to say, once you get hit, you're going to slow down. I feel that, and that's why I'm riding with Errol Spence. I feel like, yes, Terence Crawford can come in, have that speed style. There's only one way for him to win, to me.
I only see me with a W, and I don't accept nothing until that visuality that I see comes to fruition.
And that is for him to pitch a shutout. He's got to come with a fight similar to what Vasyl Lomachenko brought to the table when he fought Devin Haney. He's got to be the welterweight version of that. There can't be a round in this fight that he takes off. He's going to have to be moving, throwing punches, and using angles the whole time. And I think that the power of Earl, once he does hit him, it's going to eventually slow him down. The thing about Devin Haney, Lomachenko was Devin Haney stopped being able to hit Vasyl Lomachenko at a certain point in the fight. The first 3 to 4 rounds, he was hitting them, and he was hitting them often. But after 3 or 4 rounds, he wasn't able to hit Vasyl Lomachenko anymore, and Vasyl Lomachenko had basically reversed the table on him. Do I feel like Terence Crawford can do that to Earl? If he's using that style that Vasyl brought to the table, yes. If he's being that aggressive with his speed, his angles, and his punch output, yes. But I don't see it. You know, I didn't see it during the David Evanzian fight, who he severely overmatched. I didn't see it during the Sean Porter fight, who he severely overmatched at that time. So I'm not looking for Terence Crawford to come to the table or the boxing ring with that type of style. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think once Spence finds his rhythm and starts hitting Terence Crawford with that jab, I think Crawford's going to slow down. I think he's going to try to fight a toe-to-toe fight eventually with Errol Spence, and that's how he's going to lose the fight, by trying to go ball for ball with, for lack of a better word, with Errol Spence Jr. And he's going to find out that Errol Spence Jr. is the bigger, stronger, more powerful fighter in this situation.
think it's more complex than that.
More complex than that.
And Earl's going to basically take advantage of him the second half of the fight. I think the first half of the fight is going to be a back and forth competition, but I do feel like by round 4, maybe round 5, that Errol Spence's power is going to become the dynamic that changes the fight. Now, we all know that Terence Crawford, he can throw combinations, but nobody feels like Terence Crawford's a knockout artist or even a knockout puncher. They just feel like a lot of people do feel like he's a knockout because he's had all these knockouts since he's got to welterweight, but they've all been against slouch competition. It's not like Gervonta Davis, who his last 3 or 4 knockouts have been against very, very credible opponents. You know, so if you want to say all the knockouts before those last 3 to 4, maybe 5 fights were all, you know, slouch fighters, okay, you can say that. But what about those last 4 to 5 fights where he knocked out a bunch of credible opponents? It's not the same way for Terence Crawford. His last 3, 4 fights have been against guys he shouldn't have been in the ring with. Guys that were nearing retirement. Guys that he overmatched, severely overmatched. Guys that, you know, people did not want to watch him fight. So there's no way to gauge where Terence Crawford's power is at the moment. That's the unfortunate fact for Terence Crawford and his fans. You know, that's what they don't see is the competition level. Spence has been in there with Ugas, somebody who Crawford refuses to fight. Spence has been in there with Danny Garcia. Spence has been in there with Mikey Garcia. Spence is supposed to go in with Manny Pacquiao, but the world had an impact on that fight, and it never happened. Spence has been in there with a prime Sean Porter. Spence went in there with a beat-up Kell Brook, but still a prime Kell Brook. It was right after the Golovkin fight, and he was still the same Kell Brook that became champion. His eye was just really messed up.
Dr. Raptors and nunchucks, yo.
I think if Kell would have took a couple more months to heal up, that fight would have went a little differently. Spence might have still won, but I think Kell would have gave a better showing of it because he was in the fight up until Spence rearranged his face for him. So, you know, sometimes it depends on, you know, the past, how your future is going to be dictated, because that Golovkin fight had a big impact on Kell Brook's ending of his career, you know, and it could have ended different. I really liked Kell Brook, man, and I hated for him to have to go out like that. But I don't think it's going to be the same way for Terence Crawford. I don't think Terence Crawford is preparing correctly for this fight. I don't think he's ever looked at this fight correctly. I think he's been hyped up so much by fans, his team, top ranked, that he's been the man without the competition level, that once he finally does get into the ring, I think even if he does lose, he's not going to lose his arrogance. He's still going to be the arrogant Terence Crawford who thinks that he was what he was built up to be, when in reality, he was just facing guys at the right moment. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, want to pad your stats. But when it comes to reality and you getting into the ring with a guy like Errol Spence, reality is going to hit you really, really hard because you're not going to be prepared for what Spence brings to the table. And when he hits you with something, just like Gervonta Tank Davis said, you're going to eventually slow down.
But of course, we know the first snitch was a black man.
You're a bigger guy, so I'm not sure if your tank is as large as Vasyl Lomachenko's and the smaller fighters who can go, 15 rounds if they wanted to. You got to drag that 147 body around for 12 rounds with a power puncher, something you've never had to do before. And we're going to see how you react once you get hit.
Damn.
Do you slow down or do you pitch a shutout?
Look who's walking.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Sure. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feature a product or your channel on my channel, hit that same Gmail. It is a flock of cards at Gmail. account. And we are mine.
100 years from now, Ebola is like the common cold. Drugs illegal, body parts are being sold. So you can buy a heart low retail, but you can't tell a male from a female. Cause you can buy a fake face, fake hair, fake hands, fake feet, buying by the pair. And there's no more police, military tanks riding up and down the city streets. And years of being treated like feces turned the black man to an endangered species. But at least the kids feel fine, cause the fucking schools got a lunch and a pill line. Socialism, 50 million folks in prison. Dumb nigga, you supposed to listen, cause I can see the fucking future. My crystal ball is recreational drug use and alcohol, bitch. Call this a classic for the masses. When I made it, I was rolling like Drake on Degrassi. Google that, that's if Google still exists. 100 years from now, bitch, I'm so 100 years from now, what's it gonna be like? 100 years from now, it's gonna be crazy, cause it's crazy right now. What's it gonna be like? 100 years from now. One world government, the king is a gringo. Every day's El Nino. Niggas never seen snow in their whole life. Global warming's a motherfucker. Year-round summers, 20-year-old grandmothers. I don't know what's a sicker picture. A 20-year-old granny or the old nigga fucking with her. I paint a picture so vivid you can see it when you close your eyes. I can see the drones in the sky. I can see the clones in the skies. On the low, helping niggas contribute to their own demise. Niggas dying over clothing lines. High price sneaks and freaks got these niggas trapping over time. Over time, you think things change, but the more things change, they staying the same. So, Google Louis Keys, if Google still exists 100 years from now, bitch, I'm so 100 years from now, what's it gonna be like? 100 years from now,